I'm out in my local woodland with Steve this morning, just outside of Nuneaton. We have got a little bit of atmosphere this morning, which is great. I do love this time of year, sort of September time, when things are just starting to turn towards autumn. And yeah, I've already taken 3 shots of pretty much one composition, or one set of trees. And yeah, I don't know if you can work out on the camera, but there's some trees just over here. And you've got this beautiful oak tree with this arching branch. I do love a good arching branch, reaching out to a dead tree in the background there. But we just have a little pocket of light just coming down and flooding the bracken there at the bottom. It's quite a nice scene. But I've taken, as I say, 3 different shots on 2 different lenses. So I was initially started up quite close to the composition on my 20-70. I was shooting at about 50mm. But as I got closer to the scene, because you only have a touch of sort of mist here, I just wasn't getting that level of separation. So what I did is I came a lot further back from the scene and put my super telephoto on, and I was at around 100mm. And by doing so, that atmosphere between me and the scene just gives that little touch of softness with the atmosphere that we have. And yeah, I think it works out to be a much more interesting image with that touch of mist in it. And I have also just framed up a portrait orientation shot here, back with my 20-70 on, at just over 50mm. And yeah, just a simple scene of the oak tree on the right hand side sort of reaching in from the right to the dead tree there on the left hand side. I'm going to go for a 4x5 crop on that, just taking out the bottom of the scene, but it's quite a nice start to the morning. Steve's just over there framing up some shots. I think he's doing a review on the lens. But yeah, it's going to walk around this little pocket here. It's a pocket that myself and Steve know quite well, and just yeah, take some shots. Just as I was walking away from that scene to go meet up with Steve, I came onto the main path and I noticed another composition of the same scene. This one is a bit different. It's a 16:9 crop. I've still got the main character, if you like, on the right hand side with those branches leaning over, and I've still got the tree on the left hand side, the dead tree. But I'm also incorporating some other trees. I don't know what it is, but there's some other trees in the background there on the right hand side just next to this tree that have got some like sort of lovely rusty colours on them. And with the fog that we've got as well, it's just really quite nice. I have got a couple of issues, and that is on the top right hand side and top left hand side, there is some branches just poking in. Now, you could argue I could remove those in post, but I don't want to. I don't think it's really necessary. I think I need to learn. I think I need to learn to embrace that woodlands aren't perfect. And yeah, you are going to get some instances where things are coming into the scene. It's just how you deal with those. But I don't think they're too much of a distraction, to be honest with you. And it is a really quite a nice scene. So yeah, let me pop this on screen for you. I'm going to have a look over here at what Steve's framing up. Literally 10 yards from the last shot, I have found another scene here. Again, using... Should have said that once. Take 3. Literally 10 yards from the last shot, I framed up another shot here of this beautiful oak tree, which I've shot before. I think I've shot before. Where they've got these, again, these branches leaning in from right to left. And again, there's another dead tree in the background in the scene. But I've gone for a slightly different composition than what I did, I think it's probably about 6 or 7 months ago now. a sort of more wider shot, again at 16 by 9. I don't know, there's something about 16 by 9 this morning that's just really working for me. So yeah, you've got this collection of trees on the right hand side with the oak trees. They've got a bit of shape to them, contrasted against these ones on the left hand side that are really quite straight. It just looks really quite nice on the back of the camera. Again, with the touch of mist that we have, it is just helping with that separation a little bit. But it's just a really nice scene. So yeah, there's not really much more to talk about with this, other than that, you know, I've got the majority of the interest, if you like, on the right hand side of the scene, balanced against these trees here on the left hand side of the scene. And it's just a nice, well composed scene which kind of leads you straight through the centre of it. Really quite nice. So let me put that on screen for you. And yeah, I have just seen another potential composition of a tree I shot about 12 months ago. So I'm going to have a look at that. So I'm pretty much standing in the same spot I took the last shot in, but this time I've actually gone into portrait orientation and actually done a pano, quite a big pano, at about 50mm, sweeping from left to right, incorporating those trees I was shooting a moment ago, just over on the right hand side here. We got those trees arching over, but by just standing here and just moving around ever so slightly, I'm just able to get some beautiful separation between the individual elements in the scene. It's really quite nice. It's a 6-week pano, and I have gone a bit wider than I probably need to, but by doing that I can ensure that when I get back and stitch these together, I've got some options to play with when it comes to actually stitching the pano. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of the sky in and a bit more of the foreground than what I'm going to need when I do the edit, but that's not an issue. So yeah, I'm envisaging something like a 3x1 crop, maybe a little bit wider even, incorporating pretty much on the left hand side where you've got this sort of deadfall, and then really finishing off at the tree I was shooting a moment ago with those arches, those trees arching in, and then you've got on the left hand side a beautiful oak tree that I have photographed about 12 months ago. And yeah, just a nice complete scene. The mist is it's still hanging around slightly. It has gone considerably darker and the wind has completely dropped. If I didn't know better, I'd say it's probably going to absolutely tip it down very shortly. But that might actually add to the mood we've got here in the woodland this morning. Been walking for a little bit and actually come out of the woodland now because the fog seems to have lifted ever so slightly. Come to an area that I've shot not too long ago, and Steve got a fantastic shot here the other day, and I just wanted to try and recreate it in some way. I'm sure he won't mind me admitting that, but yeah, it's this old petrified oak tree, and yeah, I've shot it, as I say, a couple of times in the past. I did a pano, in fact, not too long ago, and yeah, copying Steve a little bit here, because looking at his shot, I really liked how he placed the main character pretty much in the centre of the scene. But what we do have as a bit of an addition today is on the bottom right hand side of the image, some of the leaves on the trees there have started to turn a lovely rich goldeny sort of yellowy colour, which really works quite nicely. And with the tree in the centre, it's also balancing quite nicely against a pine in the background. I think it might be a Scots pine. And it's just a really nice, basic, but really nice scene. By coming away a good sort of 200 yards, I have got a touch of atmosphere in the scene, not a great deal, but it just softens it ever so slightly and makes it look a little bit painterly. So myself and Steve were just talking, I think if you come back here in a couple of weeks' time, when those leaves have started to turn even more, and if you come back here with even more atmosphere, I think that would be the absolute dream shot of this composition. But for now, I'm going to pop this on screen. And yeah, I might steal one of Steve's other shots, which is just over there, which I have shot myself before as well, with these silver birch on the edge of the field here. So yeah, let me put this one on screen while I frame this one up. Okay, so I've just turned 90 degrees and I've framed up a few images actually of these silver birch that line the edge of this field here. Really, really quite beautiful. There's one in particular on the right hand side that's got a lovely sort of shape to it, where it's kind of leaning over, and as we're just heading in towards autumn, it's just showing signs of changing colour. You've got a few little leaves in there that have got some lovely rich goldeny sort of yellow colours. It's just really quite nice. I have done, as I say, 3 compositions. One, portrait orientation, which actually I think is my favourite. Really, it's all about that main tree on the bottom right hand side, but you've got little bits of silver birch popping through as well, and it's really, really quite nice. A real nice sort of portrait of that tree. And I'm just including at the bottom these grasses that have got a lovely sort of golden colour to them as well, which complements the colours in the tree there. I have then also taken a landscape image, incorporating very much the same tree, just cutting off the top of the scene and incorporating a bit more of the left hand side with a few more silver birch dotted around there as well. And then finally a 16:9, which is really quite nice as well. You've got this silver birch, a real nice straight one, but it's got some lovely light on it at the moment, coming straight down, covering the left hand side of the image, balanced nicely against that one that's got some lovely shape to it on the right hand side. It's a really nice sort of rustic scene. The colours in there at the moment on the back of the camera look absolutely beautiful, with the mist that we've got as well. It's just given me that sort of painterly look that I really do love in woodland photography. So these should edit really quite nicely. I'm going to put these 3 on screen for you now and try and find Steve. He's gone somewhere over that way and I've not seen him for probably about 20 minutes. So I do need to go and catch up with him. But yeah, hope you enjoy these. Right, caught up with Steve. I've had a fantastic morning out in the woodlands this morning. Do go and check out your local woodland. I think I actually got a couple of nice images this morning, even though the fog wasn't quite as thick as we'd hoped for. But some of those images should turn out quite painterly. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it anyway. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please consider hitting the like button. And if you've really enjoyed it, as always, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any comments, please put them below. Bit of a short one this week. I just needed to get out in the woodland. It's a place I come to just to relax after a stressful week at work. So thank you again for watching. See you soon.